Hey, yo, welcome back to another Real Talk reaction. This one is for Better Call Saul Season 5, Episode number 3. Do not forget to like and subscribe. You know why. Need I say more? Nope. And thank you.
A couple comments from the last episode, starting with executive producer Josiah, who says, all I can say about this one is 50% off. Yeah, that shit is wild. Christian says, right before getting stuck on the elevator, Sal's on the phone with a client and says he's getting on an elevator and is about to drop the call. He's actually on the phone with his accomplice, maintenance worker. It's great to see Saul pull a con. He really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Alright, last comments from Brandon, who says, Mike's son, Matty, was an innocent man killed by dirty criminals for getting in too deep into a situation. Werner was the same, and it was Mike who pulled the trigger this time. In Mike's eyes, he's no better than the men who murdered his son.
I heard that.
That's deep. Alright, let's get into the next episode right now. They're like just roommates now.
Let me get that bottle.
If there's no money in those debt drops, Lala will know someone talked.
All right now. You might hit somebody's car. Could be mine. I won't be pissed. Alright, that was episode 3 of Better Call Saul, and Hank is finally in the mix now. We have merged the two worlds together, like fully now. Now we are crossing over big time. Things are just moving quickly on here. Lalo gave all the secrets about Gustavo, which I knew that's what he was trying to do. I don't know if he gave away the underground bunker that they're building yet, but he's trying to F up the money for Gus.
He didn't sell out Gus though, just for drops.
Right, just to drive. He's just trying to mess up the money. Like the other guy, the Don said, right? Like, he's a good earner. As long as he's a good earner, don't matter. So you fuck with the money, then okay, then everybody have a problem with him. But we already know who's gonna win this battle for now anyway. So I'm so curious to see how Lalo's gonna meet his end, and Nacho. Because neither one of them we ever hear about again moving forward, right? Wexler as well. I think she's just gonna go off until just go off, right? And just that's it. We just don't talk about her no more. Because it is becoming really evident that her and Jimmy are just not gonna stay together. And Jimmy is 100% Saul Goodman now, and it's just like he's gonna be like so far into that, especially when she started learning he's doing like deep criminal shit with the criminals. I mean, to his own avail, he got no choice. But she's not going to be, playing for that. And so that's going to become more complicated as well. Mike is struggling with, still with the German over there, and then, just everything else. So I don't know how he's going to end up in this season, but we know where he ends up at, moving forward. He's just going to straight turn to Mike the Terminator and just be done with it. But I love this episode right here, as I do all the other ones, and I cannot wait to see more of what we're going for.
So what I really liked this episode was Kim's kind of peeling back the onion, so to speak, as far as her past. Because, she never talks, she's never vulnerable, and she never talks about anything, and she's, so put together and stoic and independent. And I feel like that speaks volumes as far as what she went through and why she's so career driven and focused on being stable, and because she never wants to be in a situation again where she's without, and she doesn't want to rely on anybody else. So I think it clearly speaks to her independence and how that conflicts with Jimmy's need for codependency. So they're on two different spectrums. He wants to depend and work with somebody else, whereas Kim fights against that tooth and nail. She wants to be so independent. And I think also Kim's struggling with her morality and who she wants to be and what's the impact she wants to have. For a second, though, to your point, baby, at the end where you're talking about, like, how do everybody meet their end and why don't we hear from them anymore? I, like, low-key had a second where I was like, he's going to shoot her in the face, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
she
that
trespassed. I was like, oh my god, is this how she's going to go out? Because that'd be fucking wild. But it didn't go that route. But I had a strong, like, intuition that that's where it was going to play out. So I'm glad it didn't. But, like, it really, I was just like, oh, this is about to be crazy. And then I thought it was so great. And it's incredible to me, the writing of this show, to be so seamless as far as creating the consistency in what Breaking Bad was. The fact that now we got to see the moment where Crazy 8 becomes the CI, it's not even a huge part of Breaking Bad. It's revealed after Walt kills Crazy 8, or he goes missing. I don't even think they even find the body because he puts him in the acid. But after Crazy 8 goes missing, they're like, we lost one of our CIs or whatever the case is. And it was never, like...
clear who it was?
Yeah, well, no, it was clear that Crazy 8, but it was a surprise that he was a CI. But the fact that they used this season to actually show us the moment he becomes that, I didn't even think about that. It's so fucking brilliant. And again, I think Breaking Bad was one of my favorite series of all time. But what they're able to do with this show... and that's a lot to do to try to create that consistency and allow the show to stand on its own is just incredible. So I love that so much. I'm so glad we got to see Hank, although the whole time I'm like, this is really sad. Because this is like Hank before he's traumatized too, and like in his early Hank days. And even Steve too. So it's just a very cool experience to be able to have these little moments that tie back into Breaking Bad. And again, knowing all the things that we know that's going to happen, it's just nostalgia. And also, like, just almost depressing a little bit to see it in this context. But, again, written so extremely well. So I thought it was another extremely solid episode. To your point, though, I'm so curious as far as Mike's character development, because I thought he acted so well this episode, like the tear constantly in his eye, like he's about to cry because he's like struggling so much with his guilt as far as what happened to his involvement with Werner. But then also, what's the catalyst then to get him over this guilt to where he fully embraces his Mike-ness and like his, to your point, his Terminator-ness.
He might just say fuck it.
Yeah, so curious to see at what point that switch happens. But it's so cool and so, like, again, refreshing, the quality of the writing to show the struggle that Mike's having with the direction he's going and what he just did or whatever. So, great episode. And it always ends before I'm ready for it to end. And that doesn't happen with a lot of shows. Most times you can kind of feel, like, the momentum of when a show is ending. But I feel like this episode and last, I was just like, oh shit, we're done. It's over. Yeah. So great episode. Can't wait for the next one.
Alright, well look, thank you guys again for watching another Real Talk reaction for Better Call Saul Season 5, Episode 3. And until next time.